So we're playing AspiringSpike's Dimir Flash list. I believe you just won a challenge with it like a few days ago. So we're going to give it a shot in the challenge today. It's basically Dimir control instead of like Dimir frogs. There are no frogs in here, no Murktides, no Quantum Riddlers. Everything in the main deck is instant speed. So really trying to hold up mana and really punish your opponent for not doing anything with cards like Wan Shi Tong, consult the star charts to get ahead on cards, cling to dust is card advantage, all your normal instant speed, counter spells, fatal pushes, Shieldred's Edict, Orcish Bowmasters, stuff like that. Out of the sideboard, we got Consigns, Mystical Disputes, 3 Graveyard Trespassers, Damnation, Force Negation, 3 Engineered Explosives. Choosing to run Spell Pierce instead of Force Negation in the main. I'm assuming because you don't really want to be going down on cards. Looks like round 1 is upon us. Mark, what's up? Win the die roll. Fine hand on the play, so we'll keep this. Field of Ruin gives us an out to things like Urza's Saga, which is kind of cool. Plus, you can use it to force your opponent to search for Wan Shi Tong. The opponent's taking a nap. Ugh. This deck looks sweet. It does look pretty sweet. I'm obviously skeptical of playing any like Dimir based deck in Modern without Psychic Frog. But interested in giving this a shot because it's different. I like the hold up mana aspect of it. Yeah, it has definitely been a minute. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods as well. Yeah, I'm not going to pass on a counter spell when I've got the mana to cast it. Let's see what we're up against. Uh-oh. These are the kinds of things I do not particularly want to see on turn 1. Okay. Modern. Mox Opal, a perfectly reasonable unban. Okay, let's think about this. I would like to cling to dust the Quarry Steel Cutter when they go to eat that. I get punished if they have land metallic rebuke. But I think it's worth going for. Well, would love to have Bowmaster up for that. 2 to the top. Cameo Inquisitive Student. Okay. Another one that's a little bit awkward. I could Field of Ruin, turn on Delirium, or turn on Revolt to Fatal Push. I think I kind of have to just sit back. I do want to Fatal Push this Tameo. I think I'm just going to do that. And just kind of say, like, you've got an Emery if you want to get back a Mox Opal. But I'm not going to let you have a Tameo making clues as well. All right. So this is a Quantum Riddler, which we can respond to. Shoot you. Mossy Boy Wonder, what's up? Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. I would not complain about another land. Got a Mox Opal. Third copy of Unholy Heat's pretty good. on 4th land. Thank you. All right. So I can't attack in with the orc. Because if I do, even with like the Bowmaster ping, I can't kill the Riddler. This is kind of an awkward spot because I do want to get down this other Bowmaster, and I'm kind of incentivized to do it now because if I wait until their turn, they could pop the Fiery Islet in response and not draw. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and play this out now. Now they've got me on a 5-turn clock. I've got them on a 4-turn clock. I think if they do nothing, I go ahead and Wan Chi for 1 or for 0 since I have the backup. Now I can get a draw off of this Field of Ruin. That's pretty good. Opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Combat. Hiya. Now they're punished for drawing. They're punished for fetching with the Scalding Tarn. Yep. Carry on. All right, that was pretty sick. Good old Metalcraft. All right, I definitely want the 3 engineered explosives. Mystical Dispute is okay. Trespassers okay. Consigns okay. Bunny, what's up? I'm not like super thrilled about most of these. Mystical Dispute's probably like best thing out of the list there. Dingo said this list needs more frogs. I mean, yeah, it's a Dimir list in Modern. Naturally, it needs more frogs. Salt seems a little slow. Love casting things at instant speed. Right there with you. Right there with you. I don't want to cast things on my turn. Board out a Cling. I don't want to go down too many blue spells when I still have like Subtlety in. Could bring in Force of Negation. Like Force over another Cling. Thank you for streaming. I'm sick right now, so great entertainment while stuck in bed. We'll return with Prime Sub in a few days. If you do, you do. If you don't, no worries. appreciate the consideration for throwing your Bezos bucks this way anyway. No pressure. What's our blue count? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 21. It's a little low, but I don't really feel like there's anything else I want to cut. Maybe a what's the matchup? It's is it Metalcraft? So like the value affinity pile, quantum riddlers and stuff. Opponent game 1 on the draw went Mox Opal, Mox Amber, Land, Emery, second Mox Opal, Haywire Might, Warp Quantum Riddler, draw 2, pass. And we still managed to win that game somehow. Yeah, it was a pretty nutty turn 1 for a fair affinity deck. Also, goes to show why I think Mox Opal never should have been unbanned. That card's too good of an enabler. I think it's going to end up leading to like more and more artifacts based payoffs being banned. And they're just going to have to ban Opal or reban Opal. My opponent has disconnected. That's not good. Opponent has reconnected. Opponent is contemplating life. I think the only thing I'm missing from this deck in paper is 3 more copies of Wan Chi Tong. And there's still like 50, 60 bucks for the borderless versions. Yeah. I don't want to pay 50, 60 bucks for Wan Chi Tongs for one deck or one list of one deck, one iteration. This is a very slow hand on the draw. Like I have a chance to draw into an untapped blue source. And that could be if they have a turn 1 Emery. This is pretty miserable unless I draw an untapped blue source. Like I can subtlety the turn 1 Emery, but I can't answer it on turn 2. If they have like a turn 2 Emery, this isn't awful. Or if I have like if they have a turn 2 Emery and I find an untapped blue source, Tameo's a little rough. Hopefully they'll be nice and just go like land pass. Deal. Heck yeah. Blue source. Blue source. Blue untapped blue source. Nice. Less nice. Quantum Riddler to just draw one is fine. And I assume they're going to have the land for Urza's Saga. I'll let them untap. I could go for like the main phase Wan Shi Tong right now to try to dodge Metallic Rebuke. But more than likely, if they have the third land, they're not going to be doing anything other than making constructs. So I think Wan Shi Tong will resolve regardless. Fetch land is kind of the punishment there because they can always fetch in response. But frogs, there are no frogs here. There are no frogs in Ba Sing Se. Shock. Little shocked to see a shock there. That is a good draw. That is a very good draw. So I think what I want to do is attack for one. Now I have a decision to make. Am I letting them have their Urza's Saga with the intention of letting them search, getting Wan Shi Tong trigger, and then being able to Field of Ruin and get another trigger? Or am I Field of Ruining to stop them from having one extra saga? And I think I'm going to let them search. I think I want to draw cards. Unholy Heat by Wan Shi Tong. So, do I respond with Field of Ruin on one of their lands and try to force them to use another removal spell? I could go for counter spell on this, but then I'm not Field of Ruining, so I think I go for the field. I really want to find some more land drops. That's also pretty good here. So force a negation, exiling a spell pierce, because that doesn't really matter anymore. Now if they go for like Metallic Rebuke, I can Mystical Dispute. You get a tutor, I get another card drawn. Hit the land. Good deal. All right, so they do have a Riddler on Warp, so I think I'm going to go for the subtlety off the Consult here. See what they decide to do. Emery on top. Okay. This looks a lot worse if they have another play to make here. Like that. Because then I could have had another land available and just like hard cast. All right, so Emery on top. Pass. Plan on counterspelling this Emery. And then we need Wan Shi to find us something good. We're just doing this main phase. See if we can find a Metallic Rebuke. Okay. It's not the end of the world. Good draw. That's fine. Oh, they have no more basics. Sweet. Carry on. All right, that was that was pretty dope. How'd Carlos end up? I know he finished day one like 7-2, but I think kind of unraveled a bit day two. I think Parker finished top 128, like 107 or somewhere around there. And this other guy, Riley from North Mississippi, ended up like 21st. So do I want you? I think I do. I could bin this just for like free value, but I think that I want to be able to draw a card and hold up spell snare, or in this case like draw a card fatal push or something. It's looking like Boros energy. It's going to be my assumption until I see otherwise. White based fetches. Yep. Boros energy indeed. Sounds like you would have been better off coming over playing D&D. Probably. It was a fun event though. I was glad that I went. Standard has been better than I thought it would be. I thought I was going to have like a miserable time playing it, but I've kind of enjoyed the standard gameplay. Slow down a bit, decisions matter. Feels a little bit more like you can build to have a good time into stuff. I kind of want another spell snare, but at the same time, I kind of need something that's going to win the game. I don't want to sit here and keep going draw go forever. Got cling to dust. I could cling the Spyro, but I give my opponent just like free reign to resolve something else. So I think I'll go for cling on something not Spyro. If they want to respond with like make some tokens, then so be it. Yep. I'm probably saving this Field of Ruin for whenever I find a Wan Shi Tong. Another Spyro. So what's probably going to happen here? I go for subtlety and they just flage the subtlety. Which I don't think is like awful. And if they do any other play, I've got Fatal Push. Discharge, sure. Did put the Spyro on top. Am I shuffling away this Spyro? Like Field of Ruin, the arena, shuffle away the Spyro. I think I like that. Which point I don't need to have this come into play tapped. I'll just do it on their upkeep. I have to kill these tokens eventually. Good draw. Okay. I like that quite a bit. Ragavan. I'll Shieldred's Edict the Ragavan. Sacrifices a non-token creature. And consult. Mana Tithe. Fair, I guess. You're just sitting on a bunch of Mana Tithes. Mana Tithes and discharges. Let's go after. Sure. 3, 4, 5. Good draw. All right, Mana Tithe me once. Shame on me. Mana Tithe me twice. Probably shame on me again, honestly. Master Subtlety seems fine. I wish there were another copy of Consult or something in that hand, Wan Chi Tong, but it is what it is. Speak of the devil. Got it. And I think if they go to fetch, I'm gonna respond with Wan Chi Tong for 1. Or like Wan Chi Tong for 1 card. That's fine. See if there's another Mana Tithe in my future. Heck yeah. All right. Get those out of here. Mana Tithe too strong. Seriously. It's a Johnny on the bottom. So I'm going to wait until I see if opponent goes for a Flage so that I can subtlety the Flage and then shuffle it away with the Field of Ruin. Then if they didn't go for Flage, if they just like pass back, I'd go for Wan Chi Tong for 8, not for 9, to play around 3rd Mana Tithe. Because I don't want that bad juju around here. All right, so we got Graveyard Trespassers, Damnation, some number of Engineered Explosives. I don't know if I'm going to bring in all 3 of them, but some amount will be coming in. Spell Pierce is not good. Consult's a little slow, but probably fine. Counter spells, fine. Bowmaster Edict. Maybe trim like a Wan Chi Tong. Logic Knot. Bring like 1 EE instead of 3. Then probably just drop like a Consult. Go down a couple of my top end for some sweepers and trespassers. If anybody knows offhand how Spike was sideboarding in this matchup, I would be interested in hearing. Opponent on a mulligan with no land drop. Or no one drop. Had a land drop. Did not have one drop. I think I want this consult to try to hit a black source. All right, opponent, please do not cast a blood moon. I guess we take the card we can cast. Good. Pass back. Goblin Bombardment. Don't particularly want that to resolve. Go ahead and Fatal Push the Ajani too. All right, so now our Wan Chi Tong can start drawing a card. I'd kind of prefer it be a 4/4 before I play it instead of a 3/3. It depends on what they do here. Yeah, Guide of Souls, I'll just fetch up a Surveil. I like that. That also makes me want to have a more clear board next turn. I could just main phase this Consult. That's probably better. Play around the Mana Tithe. Play around the Mana Tithe. Get another land drop. All right. An opponent's got nothing. Yeah. That's right. This thing costs black mana. Start stabilizing the board a little bit. Sure. I'm just going to do Wan Chi Tong for 2. Play around Mana Tithe. Get another card draw off of this fetch. Blood Moon. Sure. Pandas, what's up? I guess I'm saving this engineered explosives. They did lock themselves off of escaping a flage. Which means I probably want to EE on 0. Stop them from getting a second white source with this Goblin Shaman. It's going to be a no from me, dog. So enter combat. Nothing doing. All right. That's a pretty good card with a reflection out. Does that just... Oh, wait, this copy is non-legendary, right? Yeah, so they can't copy a Johnny. So they basically got 3 looks at something that kills Wan Chi Tong here. Why aren't you copying the Spyro? They had 2 flages in their next 3 draws, so they could have copied the Spyro. They would have drawn into the flage. So they've got 2 off the Spyro, 2 off the copy of Spyro, elemental token, 2 off the Cat Warrior is 7. So I have to block something or I lose to flage. And if I block something, you flage my Wan Chi Tong and you're winning the late game. So they literally had the win there and didn't go for it. Good old Prowess. This event's 6 rounds, right? We have a hand. Hand that's not great on the draw into Prowess. Kind of folds to a Corey Steel Cutter, so I think I'm going to go to 6. I've got like 3 spell snares and 2 spell pierces, so I don't really mind mulliganing once to look for something. I feel like it's reasonably safe to assume they're on Prowess. Let's go ahead and convert on this spell pierce now. Oh. Things are getting dicey. Things are getting very dicey. Extraordinary amounts of dice detected. Double lava dart in the yard. Yikes. I could Field of Ruin the Fiery Islet. I'm assuming they don't have another land if they played the Fiery Islet, which in itself is very scary. I could go for a cling just to try to get them to use one of these lava darts and sack a land. The problem there would be I don't get the redraw off of it, and I don't really have anything going on. A little bit of flood out. Three, four, five, six, 7 here. All right, never mind. Never mind. Trespasser. I want EE. I don't feel like this is a damnation matchup. I kind of feel like this is Boros or Affinity and not Prowess. All right. Wan Shi looks pretty bad into Lava Dart. Consult's a little slow. trim a subtlety. I don't really want to subtlety a threat if I can get a spot removal spell. But I will if I have to. Hans, what's up? Maybe I want the extra cling, but I don't really know what I want the extra cling over. I guess like over a Bowmaster is fine. Don't love this hand, but it's kind of a general rule for myself against Prowess. I'm probably not throwing back a hand that's got an answer to a Corey Steelcutter on curve. How's the deck feel? It's felt pretty good so far. Haven't had any major complaints. This is the first match I've seen that not having Frog really feels like a big liability. Go back to waiting time. Eventually, we'll get back to combat. I could never double queue because all the decks I play take way too long. Subtlety could be worse. I know, not the most exciting viewer experience. I feel like they're double queued like 24/7. It was like this last time I played against them. They waited like 8 minutes into round one to make their first move. Um, and then we didn't get any sort of. We finished the match, but the match finished with like a minute left on their clock, and I don't know. Like, I'm personally of the opinion I don't care if you double queue. You're allowed your 25 minutes of the clock. I'm allowed my 25 minutes. You can spend it however you want to. I don't care if you make me sit here for the full 25 minutes. It does not matter to me in the slightest. But from the content creation side of it, yeah, it can be a little annoying to like sit here and have to watch literal nothing going on for an extended period of time. Good draw. I don't play MTGO, but in case a player wins game one and then their time expires, you win anyway. Yeah, on MTGO, if your clock runs out, it doesn't matter if like we're in game two, you won game one, and you're swinging for lethal in game two. If your clock runs out, I win. So that's why like it doesn't matter to me if opponent uses their full 25 minutes. Like they're allotted that time. And I shouldn't be like frustrated just because they want to take more of the available time. Like it's their time to use. Mm, sure. Slightly less sure. Another play. Surprised double queuing's even allowed at all. I mean, I wouldn't complain if they said they were doing away with double queuing. Like, I definitely don't believe it's the best thing to have available. Um, it is kind of a hassle, but I get it. Like if you were at a big paper event, you wouldn't be allowed to double queue. So if we're taking that as like the comparison, it would make sense to not be allowed to. had the bobble too. All right. Well, this was a exceptionally good turn on their side. That's interesting. How am I winning this game? If I attack with Graveyard Trespasser, if I attack with Trespasser, exile their Swift Spear, hit for 3 down to 8, gain up to 7. Is that better than? It's probably not better than Cling to Dusting the Swift Spear and gaining up to 9. For the purposes of not dying to a Dragon's Rage Channeler. But I don't get to flip my Graveyard Trespasser, so maybe I have to keep it back this turn. No, I kind of need to attack. The game's got to end at some point. Sitting back against a 3/3 flying Dragon's Rage Channeler's not really getting me anywhere. Would events realistically fire without anyone double queuing? They would, but you'd have to drop probably a lot of the 64 events and make them all 32s. Ironically, it's probably one of those self-creating problems where people double queue due to downtime and challenges, but the double queuers create more downtime. I wouldn't be shocked if that were the case. Technically, some events you can like Eternal Weekend if you're playing Vintage and make top 8. They let you take a game loss is in the Legacy main event because the overlap. But it's only because you take game losses, right? But here, like, you don't have to take game losses. You can just play in 2 events going on at the exact same time with no penalty. All right, so we are attacking in. And I'm going to exile what? Exiling Bobble doesn't do anything because they've got another Bobble in play. I mean, I guess I can. Again, exiling the Bobble because I would gain 1 life exiling the Swift Spear for the Graveyard Trespasser versus gaining 3 life exiling it with the Cling to Dust. That's not good for me. Wasn't it better to take the only instant? Honestly, I didn't even notice that they did only have one instant. So yes, it would have been. I was literally thinking that was another preordain. All right, got the bolt for the Corey Steel triggers. Now at least we know it wouldn't have mattered. Yep. You got another spell. God bless. Chill out. Dude, you don't know him. Chill, chill, chill. Shadows. Played Jun Saga in the Super Sunday. Modern went 4-2. I was actually talking about Jun Saga on stream earlier and how Nethergoyf became unplayable because Jun Saga was the best shell for it, and Jun Saga became unplayable. But I'm glad to see you're proving me wrong. Marsh Flats. What does Marsh Flats mean? Boros energy. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. Should have 5-1, but I had a win against Titan. Just absolutely punted it away. Been there. Been there, done that. I didn't play any modern all weekend. Like, I left my modern deck in my bag in the Airbnb the entire weekend. Didn't bring it to the convention center, nothing. And felt pretty good about that. Land. Land. Sweet. What do I want to see here? That's a pretty good one to see. If I had to pick one. All right, are we going for the Bowmasters? I think we are. Go ahead and convert on this. Another follow-up. Ravioli. I could consult to try to find a land. I think I will, because even if I miss, I have looks at um Fatal Push. I'll take the Flooded Strand so that if they, for whatever reason, don't have a removal spell into the Spyro, I can get a Surveil land. I don't have a removal spell into the Bowman. Most obvious Spyro ever. Yep. Okay. I guess if opponent does nothing, I'm probably going for the Wan Shi for 3. So like if they didn't have a removal spell for the Bowmaster, I'm sure they don't have a removal spell for the Wan Shi here. That's fine. You know how many rounds? 6. 6 rounds. Six rounds on the dot. I'm going to keep this second land because that is, or keep another land on top because that's a Wan Shi Tong for one more card in a couple turns if they end up like answering this one. No blocks. Let's go. I think I'm just drawing a card. I think they're just making Spyro tokens, which doesn't really matter here. Why don't I block? Because I don't need to. Like, if I block this, then I have to use my Shieldred's Edict. But I'm winning the race right now, so I don't have to block this, and I can just save my Shieldred's Edict for now. Opponent want to play a removal spell. Do they have like a Thraben Charm? Sure. That's perfectly reasonable. Like, I'm just looking to subtlety something here and untap with a lethal attack in the air. Or if like opponent does nothing, I can just flash in a subtlety into turn. Yeah, so they've got no cards in hand. Oh, I just noticed they have a Flade. Did they just surveil the Flage and I wasn't even paying attention? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Well, I punted that. I didn't even notice the Flage get put in the yard there. All right. Well, we're still not bad because I can kill the Ajani here, Shieldred's Edict away the Flage, and then Cling to Dust to eat it. So I'm okay in the long run. But I just did not notice that Flage get put in the yard, like, at all. That feels so bad. All right, so Ocelot Pride comes out. This is fine too because I can Bowmaster, shoot the Ocelot Pride. Shieldred's Edict, sack the Flage. Opponent wants to trade off a bunch of threats. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna flash in a 1/1 Wan Shi Tong just to make it a 2-turn clock with the subtlety and the Wan Shi. And I will just pass here. I don't need to do anything. If they find a fetch land, I can respond to the fetch with Cling to Dust, the Flage. So Guide of Souls is fine. Just the stealthiest Flage of 2026 so far. Just like sneakily slide the Flage into the graveyard. Like, oh yeah, it was there all along. What do you mean you didn't see it? It was right there. I'm over here looking like an idiot, like, oh yeah, I just subtlety this Ocelot Pride because I got nothing else in hand. Flage. Nice confidence, idiot. Opponent kept 7. I think I have to mull this. Like, I've got subtlety on 1. If I had a black source already, I would keep this, but I don't think I can keep it with like no guaranteed second land and no black source. I don't believe we're winning this game. Rolled a 5 with a pretty bad 5. Still no black mana. Spike, if you're out there, we got to have a talk about your mana base. Why leave an edict in for this matchup? Opponent goes so low to the ground and so goes wide, so I think it hardly ever find a good target. A Johnny. Flip to Johnny. It also, like, if your opponent starts off with an Ocelot Pride or something and doesn't do anything sketchy following it up, you can fight over that pretty well. Or like just a Ragavan something. Jump a cat. Damnation one time would be pretty sick. No damnation. All right. We'll go to game 3. Not trying to be hostile or judgmental, just looking to figure out where you're going with that. It's spot removal against a deck that you have to have spot removal to kill. Like, you're going to have games where your opponent goes guide into double pride and it looks awful. You're also going to have games where they go Ragavan, you fatal push into Voice of Victory, you Shieldred's Edict into whatever their 3-drop is, and you deal with that. Like, if you want to focus on the games that they have a go wide token board, that's fine. They don't always have that. And Shieldred's Edict is very good in the games that they don't. Like, we can do the same thing on your side. Like, if my opponent's got guide pride into tokens plus a Johnny, explosives hitting one of those things isn't dealing with the other. Like, you have to have a variety of removal removal options. Go ahead. What do I care about here? Like, voice, Johnny. Second subtlety is not bad. Do I want to just go ahead and arena or field this arena? Oh no, I can't because I have basic swamp in my hand. So I can't field the arena and fatal push, which is awkward. Ranger Captain of Eos. Okay. All right. What's my worst case scenario would be Blood Moon, like guide plus flage, maybe. Maybe that's not absolutely terrible, but I really want to like subtlety something that they'll keep on top into Field of Ruin away the arena. Is the follow up a Blood Moon, a Spyro, or a Flage? Slowing the game down 100% subtletying this. It depends on the follow up. Like, if the follow up is a Spyro, I'd rather subtlety the Spyro and then Field of Ruin shuffle it away. If the follow up is like a something more impactful, like I'm not in a great spot regardless. Now that they've put these counters on the Guide of Souls, I can try to get a subtlety in to trade off with the Ranger Captain and then have EE to take out the rest of the board. Man. You know, it would be pretty sick right here. Would be like a 2-mana removal spell that I could use to take out the Ranger Captain after I hit all the 1-drops. Maybe like, I don't know, just something that would let me tag this. I don't know what that would look like, but Mikey, what's up? Appreciate it. Like this one Shi Tong. I think I'm gonna take that. Okay. So take advantage of the exerted arena this turn to hopefully like never mind. All right, let's think. Cling to dust here. Untap. Draw push. Or counterspell this. Untap. Draw push. I'm at 2. Is there any world where I cling to dust, draw a card, push the Ajani? I'd go to 1. Yeah, I think it is just 1 Shi into this push. So I can trade off with the Ranger Captain if they attack. No, no. I tried to scroll down, it wouldn't let me. Oh, but they punt. Okay. Okay. Opponent punts it back to us. We're okay. I say okay very loosely. Need another Wan Shi Tong. Fetch land's not bad. Fetch for a Surveil gives me the ability to cling again. They found the Flage. And they're trying to go they're trying to not give me a priority opportunity here. But I've got subtlety. They put Flage on top. So we're going to Field Ruin. Shuffle away that Flage. Okay. Very important to save the fetch here. I'm going to say this before I pass priority so that you can create your own stack on the Flage if they top deck another one. If they cast a Flage, I can respond with fetch, hold priority, counterspell the Flage, and then before the counterspell resolves, cling to dust the Flage, and they never get priority because the fetch land's still on the stack. So they can't cast the Flage from the graveyard. They also just failed to find a basic, so that kind of goes out the window. Now we're just going to flash in subtlety with counterspell backup. Look, logic not. It's pretty bad. I would love to play first. Yep. 3 Tamiya's like 3 Ragavan, 3 Uro, or 3 Oko. You're simply doing it wrong. I don't know if I'd say it's quite that bad. I'll take another land. Wan Shi Tong being a 4-drop is much different though. But like the question wasn't about it being a 4-drop though, right? The question was about the legendary rule. Like if the question is about it being a 4-drop and if that's problematic, that's a whole different answer. Noble. Okay. It's stuck in your hand earlier. You can still cast them for 2. Like, we've done that multiple times where we just said, all right, I got 2 mana. Here's a Wan Shi Tong. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable play. All right. In a perfect world, I would save this Shieldred's Edict for a Kappa. But since I don't have a guaranteed way of getting the Emery off the board, like no Revolt already lined up in hand, I kind of think I need to go ahead and do it. Like, if I had a second Wan Shi Tong in hand right now, I'd probably just fire one of these off for no value and just say, like, all right, I'm gonna swing in with a 1/1 for a turn and then draw off the next one. Pinnacle Emissary. I think I just have to counterspell this. This is probably going to be a spot of, like, try to race with Bowmaster and Wan Shi and just hope that's kind of good enough. They have a Metallic Rebuke now. Sure. Don't want to complain about Delirium. Ironically, I would kind of love to see my opponent play a Kappa Cannoneer here. Yep. That's perfectly reasonable. All right. Don't do anything else, please. Heck yeah. So what we've learned in this game is that Fatal Push is worse than Wan Shi Tong because Fatal Push gets stuck in hand way more often. Literally unplayable. Affinity was always my bane when I played Dimir. Affinity is a really, really rough matchup. It's not one that I like ever want to run into. There's So many dead cards. All right. Well, if they go like turn one, pop off, this hand's pretty bad. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Yeah, the hand was like okay if they tried to Pinnacle Emissary go off on turn two. It was good into an Emery hand. Was not good into this. We can kill that at least. Come on, Edict. Come on, Edict. Dang it. We're just going to go ahead and Bowmaster now. Doing this now so they can't like sack Fiery Islet in response. And if they don't hit an artifact, I can jump with the Orc army. I guess they have that one, don't they? Well, both sides truly fought hard. All right, I need no artifact to get cast. Literally the opposite of what I said. You know what no artifact to be cast means? All right, well, on the draw, opponent popping off turn one. I'm not going to feel too terrible about that. It is what it is. Throw back subtlety and prey. Can you not have a turn one Emery? Can we just pass? my EE on 0 here. Probably. I think I just want to slow things down. I'll go ahead and pop it now. So they can't like Claws of Gix and gain some life. Yep. My brother in Christ, please stop. I have family. So Wan Chi Tong here does literal nothing for me. Let's think. Option number 1, Field of Ruin Damnation. Hope my opponent never plays another artifact for the rest of the game. Reasonable. Option number 2, Field Wan Chi Tong. Try to draw into something. I think I just have to land Damnation because I'm kind of getting buried by this Emery. Oh, opponent had the nuts. GG's. This is usually the case with Dimir in these affinity matchups, is like more often than not your hand can deal with one thing. Like I think that opening hand could deal with a fair Saga game plan. Could not deal with a like turn 1 Emery at all. That's just kind of what it comes down to. Like, is there anything that I can do here that matters? Could Wan Chi for 0 plus Field of Ruin to draw a card. But if I'm going to do that, I might as well Wan Chi for 1 and draw instead. So I have a mana available. I could look for Fatal Push, and I'm dead to Munitions plus Drone Token. I Can't EE for 0, but I'm dead to manufacturing tokens anyway. Yep. All right. I don't recognize this name. On my upkeep. Still on my upkeep. I reiterate once more that we are on my upkeep. The upkeep is continuing. There we go. I think I want a second spell snare in the blind. This looks sweet. Wish I joined sooner to see it in action more. Yeah, the games have been pretty good so far. Have not any big complaints. We got ran over by Prowess. Affinity, we did get to take the game 3, which is cool. But then we beat Boros Energy twice, and we beat Izzet Metalcraft. All right, so I believe, yeah, I was gonna say, if you see a red fetch get an elegant parlor, it's typically zoo or typically storm, not Boros energy. So you can kind of get a little bit of a cheat there by recognizing what color the fetch is. Obviously punished for going with or forbidding the spell snare. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us too much. Love to see a Manamorphose here. Sure. Might just leave this Manamorphose in exile. Opponent, I hear you're wanting to draw magic cards. Is that correct? Ral Monsoon Mage. Let's subtlety the Ral so that I can save Logic Knot and Spell Snare for next turn to hopefully counter 2 spells and then just be able to attack in with my squad 2 turns for lethal. As opposed to countering the Ral and then only having 1 counter spell next turn available. Now, if they go for like a ritual or something, I can just Logic Knot that and move on with our day. Go into 1. Logic Knot that because there's not going to be anything I care about for 1 mana. So wrap up that one. Game 2, what do I want? Not really a lot. Definitely pretty like game 1 geared for Storm. So we'll just board out like some interaction. I'll just keep in all my fatal pushes. Or go like 3-1. I'll bring in a Shieldred's Edict or keep in a Shieldred's Edict because it does answer flipped Ral. Where Fatal Push doesn't. Just in case that's something that could come up. I could bring in an EE to answer a resolved Ruby Medallion. I don't really want to go overboard with that. That sounds lame. I've got 3 snare, 2 pierce, and a force and negation on the draw. Mana. I can't cling to dust on turn 1. We'll keep this. Back you. Got an answer to a ruby medallion on the draw. Do not have an answer to a RAL currently. So let's just hope they don't have one. Come on, Ruby. Come on, Ruby. That also works. Gemstone Caverns Sacred Foundry. Don't really want more view. Do want more view. You got it. Oh. A RAL and a ruby. So that means instead of playing the Bowmaster here, I'd rather look for another untapped blue source. That way I can have consign up for the ruby medallion and counterspell up for the RAL. Pretty good hit off that reckless. I'd feel very, very happy if they don't have a fourth land and they just get to cast one of them and pass. Like so. I'm a little surprised that they wouldn't go for the ruby there, because like if the ruby resolves, you just get to cast the RAL. But the RAL resolving does not let you cast the ruby for 3. Artist talent. All right, I've got a bit of mixed feelings about this one because I could just let this go and try to get like some Bowmaster triggers off of it and speed up my clock a lot. Brother. Chill, 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 chill. Good draw. When you want to just let the talent slide and use it to get more bowmaster triggers. The problem there is if they have like a grape shot or a prismatic ending or some piece of interaction for the bowmaster, then I just let the artist talent resolve for like no reason. So it's just a gamble. Love to see that though. The double piff in exile. Artist talents of May. Didn't know that. Oh wait, yeah, I did. Played against it in standard this past weekend. Had an opponent decline a couple times. But like if they're choosing not to use it, then that's probably pretty good for me anyway, right? How many basics does Storm run? Are they at all close to getting strip mined here? I believe that I spell snare this to stop them from being able to cast a Past in the Flames in the yard or in exile and just keep it. Do I care? Probably just don't care. Sure. Part of me wants to keep the Past in Flames in exile. But since I've got the Cling to Dust already, I'm probably fine. Just like if they want to cast it, do nothing just to put it in the yard, that's fine. All right. The first storm list I see has got 4 basic mountains in the deck, so I'm probably not taking them off of mana anytime soon with these fields. So I'll just save them for in case I find a Wanchi. Well, it's just like it's a brick until it's not, right? Like if they never find anything, then yeah, it's a brick. But if they ever find an answer to like the bowmaster, then they just have the thing on board to let them go off. So you're just taking the gamble that they're like never going to find the answer to the bowmaster. That's a pretty good draw. Let's get counter spell. I want another consult, or do I just want like force and negation? Spell snare. I think I'm just going to take force. I've got a 3-turn. I was going to say, I've got a 3-turn clock. This gives me 2 counters, plus I still have Cling to Dust. Desperate Ritual is fine. Reckless Impulse is fine. Anamorphose is super fine. So now you're dead on board. 3 cards in hand. I've got 2 counters. So I'm probably just countering the next 2 things that get put on the stack. If you fail to ruin them, they won't be able to cast Orm's Chant should they have boarded it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like once I see artist talent, maybe I'm just like overthinking it, but I feel like once I see artist talent, my fear of Orm's Chant just starts like going out the window. Because I don't know if you can have enough stuff to be like playing artist talent and all this and Orm's Chant, but maybe I'm wrong.